today is not my day, huh? It's not about me today. It's about you, huh? Right. So we want to get you guys to become traders, huh? Right. Okay. So we're going to start the class now, huh? So the first topic that we're going to do is what is Forex trading? Right? Okay. So before we talk about Forex trading, let's hear from the crowd. Guys, what do you think Forex trading is all about? What do you guys think Forex trading is all about? Yes, sir. Buying and selling. What are you buying and selling? Currencies. Okay, but why are you doing it? You want to make profits, huh? Exactly. So, Forex trading is the buying and selling of currencies for a profit. Right. I've got a small video that I'm going to play for you. It basically explains what happens in the trading world, huh? Right. I hope you guys will get to understand it. Is that cool? Okay. You can play it. All right. Right. What did you get from the video, guys? What did you get from the video? Yes. Yes. The what? Okay. Let me just give you a simple summary, huh? Is that cool? Okay. So we had this guy called Mandla, right? So Mandla had $100 in his pocket. Right? $100. You follow? Okay. Then Mandla decides, you know what? I want to exchange this $100 for rands, huh? Right? But then for him to do that, he goes to the bureau. Right? When he gets to the bureau now, he's told that our exchange rate between the dollar and the rand is 1:13, huh? Which means that his $100, right? The exchange rate is 1:13, which means that his $100 is equivalent to how much in rands? 1,300 rands, huh? Right. Okay. But then it decides, you know what? There's no reason for me to exchange my $100 at this exchange rate of 13, huh? Because I strongly believe that the exchange rate is going to go up, right? Why? Because there's a lot of things that are happening. Hey, Corona. Hey, this. Hey, minister says that, shut down and all that, huh? Okay. Then he decides to hold, right? Goes back home with his $100. Then the exchange rate starts to go up, huh? 13, 13.5, 14, 14.5, and it gets all the way to 15, right? So the exchange rate is now on 1:15. You follow? Now he goes back to the bureau. He wants to now exchange what? His $100 for rands, huh? Okay. So how much is this $100 now worth in rands? 1,000? Right. How much profit does he make? 200 rand. So in a nutshell, Forex trading is the buying and selling of currencies for a profit. Can you see how you make profit? Right? It's by the exchange rate moving from one point to another, right? So where do we get in as a school? Where do you need our assistance now, right? Okay, this is what we now teach you. We now teach you how to determine that the exchange rate is going to move from 13 all the way to 15, right? It's a skill, it's transferable, it's amazing. Is it clear? No questions yet, huh? Okay, next, what is an exchange rate? How would you define an exchange rate, guys? Yes.
What's the value of one currency to another?
Right, it's the value of one currency expressed what? In another currency, yeah? You see, in this example, we have the dollar and the South African rand, huh? Right? So the value of the dollar is being compared to the South African rand, and the exchange rate is at 15, huh? Which means that $1 is equivalent to how many? 15 rands, huh? Exactly. Okay. But then let me ask you a question. Where do you think this exchange rate comes from? Where do you think this exchange rate comes from, guys? Where do you think it comes from? Is there someone in the world that's just sitting and he says, rand needs to be 15, not 1? Where do you think it's coming from? Yes? Central banks. Okay. Any other suggestion? Yes? The stock exchange. Okay. From us, the individuals. Okay. So I'll tell you. Right. So he's right. The exchange rate comes from the central banks. So this is what happens, right, with banks. Banks also trade, right? But they trade amongst each other, right? So when they're trading now, they then quote each other with what? With prices, right? Then they say, hey, maybe you want rands as a bank. Maybe we're in demand of dollars, right? Then they say, no, our price is that. They also quote them what? With the price, huh? Then they come up with a general price, which then becomes our international rate, right? So generally, just because of that trading that happens in between banks, right, that's the one that then derives our exchange rate. Does it make sense? Next. Market size and liquidity. How much money do you think flows in this markets daily? Huh? Trillions. Give me figures, guys. Give me figures. We've got 7, 8, we've got 3, we've got 5. Come on. Is there 8? Do I have 8 trillion? Do I have 8? Do I have 10? Yeah, my brother, I know. 15. Right. Actually, there's $7 trillion that flows in this market daily. $7 trillion. Imagine that. That's more money than there is physical cash in the world. So imagine if we were to add up all the United States dollars that are there in the world, it's impossible. They'll not add up to 7 trillion. It's impossible. But this is money that flows in one day in this market. Shows you that there's plenty to go around. Yeah. Okay. So market size and liquidity. The FX market is a highly liquid market. That means that there are many buyers for corresponding sellers, right? So if you are a buyer in the market, right, there is always a seller on the other end. That's how liquid the market is. You never have an instance where, you're a buyer in the market and then there's no seller on the other end, right? So the market is that liquid. If you're a seller, there's always a buyer. Make sense? Okay. Next. Oh yes, so characteristics of the Forex market. So number one, it's decentralized. That means you can trade currencies from anywhere in the world, right? So you name it. If you are in South Africa, if you're in Zimbabwe, the United States of America, your bedroom, your phone, anywhere in the world, you can trade currencies, Exactly. Then another thing also is the most highly liquid market amongst the rest of the markets, right? We spoke about the 7 trillion that flows in this markets daily, right? Exactly. Then, the good news about trading, guys, the good news about the FX market is that it can be traded by anyone, regardless of qualifications. So it doesn't matter what you're doing in life today, right? You can be a student, right? I was a student, right? You can be a soldier, you can be a doctor, you can be a nurse, right? Whatever profession that you're doing, right? You are qualified for trading. You know why? It's because the exchange rate affects all of us, right? Whether the exchange rate goes up or down, right? It will definitely have either a positive impact to your life or to a negative impact. Can we all agree to that? Yeah. Okay. So also, it's a 24-hour market except on weekends when the markets are closed, right? So the markets are closed from that Saturday and Sunday, right? But Monday to Friday, markets are open, right? So you can trade Monday to Friday. Then weekend, you withdraw and you're having fun, Okay. Then the foreign exchange market assists in international trade and investments. Next. Market participants. Right, who is participating in this Forex market that we're talking about? Who is actually trading, right? So first of all, we have central banks, right? Then we have companies, we have individuals, we have brokers, we have commercial banks, and institutional investors, right? Central banks, we spoke about central banks, and we're saying that the exchange rate comes from them, right? Then companies, right? Why do companies need to be in the Forex market? It's because, okay, imagine this right now. Let's say there's a company that wants to purchase oil, right? And the company is here in Zimbabwe, right? They want to purchase oil maybe from South Africa, right? When they go to South Africa, are they going to go with the local currency or they need to go with rands? They need to go with rands, right? So that's the reason why companies also need to participate in the Forex market, so that they can get foreign currency to purchase what? Raw materials, right? Then individuals, you and me. Why are we trading in the markets? To make profits, Yeah. Then brokers. What is a broker? A broker is the middleman between the buyer and the seller, right? So if you want to access the financial markets, if you want to be in the financial markets, you need a broker, right? He's the one that will facilitate the transaction through, right? Then you have commercial banks and institutional investors. Next. Okay, so we've spoken about the big banks and how these guys derive our exchange rate. Governments and central banks, speculators, you and me, we're looking to make a profit, Okay, major currencies. So, next. We have what we call 8 major currencies in trading. Characteristics of these currencies, number one, they're highly liquid. That means that they are the most demanded currencies in the world. Then some of them are used as reserve currencies, and some of them They're the most traded in the world. Some are actually used in the biggest economies, huh? Right. So I'm going to give you the list of all the 8 major currencies. Is that okay? You follow? All right. So first of all, we have the United States dollar. So just write them down for you. Divide my board by half. 1. There's the United States dollar. Number 2, there's the euro. Number 3, we have the Swiss franc. We have the Great British pound. Number 5, we have the Canadian dollar. Number 6, we have the New Zealand dollar. And number 7, we also have the Japanese yen. And number 8, we have the Australian dollar. What? Wow. Okay, right. But our 8 major currencies, we as traders, understand, trading is a language, is a profession, huh? Right? And each profession has its own language that they communicate with, huh? Right? So even with trading, we also have a specific language that we use, right? So we don't just refer to these currencies as USD or EUR or CHF, huh? We've also got a specific names that we give to these currencies, huh? Okay, so I'm going to give you the nicknames, right? So the dollar, the United States dollar is known as the dollar. The euro is known as the euro. The Swiss franc is known as the Swissy. The Great British pound is known as the pound. Then the Canadian dollar is known as the loonie. Then the New Zealand dollar is known as the kiwi. Like the shoe polish? Yeah. Right. Then the Japanese yen is known as the yen. Then we have the Australian, which is known as the Aussie. Right? Is it clear? Does it make sense? Easier, straightforward. Okay, right. So when you're not trading, guys, when you're not in the markets and you're not actually trading, you trade these as currency pairs, right? So when any one of your currencies are paired together, we call it a currency pair, right? Okay, we have different types of currency pairs in the markets, right? The first one is known as a major currency pairs. What is a major currency pair? Right? Your major currency pair, this is when any one of your 8 major currencies, any one of these, right, when they're paired together with the United States dollar, then we consider that to be a major currency pair, right? So there are only 7 of these. Okay, so can I get some examples, guys? Aussie loonie. You can have euro, yen, pound, yen, euro, kiwi. Last one. Swissy, yen. Boom. Right? The list goes on and on and on, huh? Right? So cross pairs, we're just saying it's any one of your 8 major currencies. They're paired to each other without what? The United States dollar. Then it's a cross pair. You follow? Okay. Right. Then our third pair is known as synthetic pairs or exotic pairs, right? So what are exotic pairs? right? This is when any one of your 8 major currencies, right, are paired together with, you see, there are those other currencies that are not listed on our 8 major currencies, huh? Right? So when any one of these 8 major currencies are paired together with those currencies, huh, we consider it to be a synthetic, right? Okay, for example, you can have the dollar versus the Turkish lira. You can have the dollar versus the Mexican peso. You can have dollar, Norwegian krona, the euro versus the Singaporean dollar. You can have the Canadian dollar versus the Hungarian forint. I mean, the list is endless, huh? Right? As long as you have a currency pair, you have a currency and it was not listed on our 8 major currencies and it's paired together with any one of our 8, then it's a synthetic. Does it make sense? Are we together? Yes. Okay, fantastic. Right. Right. Something you should note about synthetic pairs, though, right? They are a bit more expensive to trade. Expensive in terms of the commission that the broker gets, right? It's more on their pay. Why? Right? So let me show you. So let's say you want to trade a pair and it's the rand versus the Japanese yen, huh? Right? For this exchange rate to be determined, huh? What they need to do, they need to go through an intermediate currency, right? So we use, let's say, the United States dollar, right? So what will happen is the rands will be converted first to US dollars, huh? From US dollars, it will then be converted to Japanese yen. You follow? Yeah. So it's just more expensive just in terms of the commission that the broker would get in this case. Are we cool there? Okay. Right. How to read a Forex quote. Right. Give me a currency pair. Any currency pair, guys. Give me a currency pair. What? Currency pair. Yes. Dollar yen, right? So you have the dollar and the yen, right? So what you need to always note, is that whenever you have the first currency, whatever currency it can be any, right? This one is considered to be the base currency. This one is known as the base currency, right? Reason being is the one that is being compared to the other, right? Okay, but what about the one on the right? Our yen, right? The yen is known as, it will be the quote or counter currency. Quote or counter currency. Why? Because that's is the one that is then giving us our exchange rate, huh? Right? The value of the quote currency is the one that is always changing, huh? Right? But in this case, the base, it's always a standard one, right? Do you guys follow? Yeah. Does it make sense? Fantastic. Next. Okay. We're done with what is Forex.